I have had enough of lies and secrets. It is the Luma Nutty's covert emblem. Jim Carrey rose to prominence as one of the most renowned performers of his generation thanks to his elastic expressions, brazen physical humor, and classics like Bruce Almighty and Liar Liar. However, he never disclosed the darker reality of brilliance that lay beneath all of that. Up until now. He eventually identifies the 6 actors he will never be able to forgive at the age of 63. They were the ones who publicly insulted him, used his celebrity as a weapon, and even fought with his daughter. They weren't unfamiliar people. The betrayals of some of his valued co-workers and idols went deeper than any scene he had performed. Prepare yourself, for the reasons he despises them are even more startling than their names. First, Tommy Lee Jones, the man who declared, "I hate you," while staring Jim Carrey in the eyes. Tommy Lee Jones deserves the top slot because he took a risk that nearly no one in Hollywood does. "I hate you," he continued, giving Jim Carrey a direct look. Years later, Carrey still shook his head when he remembered the incident because it was so surprising. Carrey was unstoppable in 1994. He was now the most popular name in the world because to Ace Ventura, The Mask, and Dumb and Dumber. It felt like a step up to enter Batman Forever. Collaborating with Oscar winner Tommy Lee Jones, whom he has loved since he was a child. Up until the first week of filming, that enthusiasm persisted. Later, crew members discussed the tension. Jones reportedly stated that Moment's tone was disrupted by Carrey's spontaneity. He informed Joel Schumacher that Carrey's enthusiasm made the already clownish film even worse. Between takes, Jones refused to even glance at Carrey, opting instead to speak loudly about important actors in the vicinity. Then the night arrived when it all went haywire. Carrey went over expecting a warm greeting when she saw Jones dining at a little eatery close to the Warner Brothers property. Later, Carrey recounted the incident. He simply drained his face. He got up, trembled as if he was angry, gave me a hug, and muttered, "I detest you. You truly don't appeal to me. I can't condone your foolishness." That was disrespect. Dumb and Dumber destroyed Jones's passion project, Cobb, that same weekend. According to crew insiders, Jones took it personally and was upset that Carrey's nonsense comedy earned more money in 3 days than Cobb did in total. Following that, Jones avoided eye contact, refused to participate in rehearsals, and even requested that the production keep their dressing rooms apart. They were never able to make amends. Never again did they stand on the same stage. This encounter served as Jim Carrey's first harsh lesson in the cruelty of Hollywood egos. Shia LaBeouf, the competitor who targeted Jim Carrey's kid, came in second. With Jim Carrey, Shia LaBeouf not only crossed a line, but walked straight over it. And it all began when Carrey made a joke on stage that wasn't even intended to be offensive. After Shia's plagiarism controversy became viral, Carrey made a light-hearted remark about her at the 2014 Golden Globes. He grinned as he stood on stage and said the joke. "It's easy to die. Comedy is difficult." I think Shia LaBeouf made that statement. So young. So sage. Everyone in the room started giggling. Shia didn't. He didn't react with annoyance. It was rage. Shay chose an unimaginable response rather than responding like a typical grown-up. He went after Jim's daughter, Jane Carrey. With a description that reiterated long-standing, untrue tabloid accusations regarding Carrey's personal life, he posted a video of her banned online. He changed the names after removing them from a Rupert Murdoch tirade about Hugh Grant years prior. That's how careless the assault was. Carrey was stunned, according to those close to him. Jokes from Hollywood are one thing. Another is dragging family into it. After deleting the post within 30 minutes, Shia sent a hurried and embarrassed-looking tweet apologizing. However, the harm had already been done. Carrey never again made a public statement. A feature that fans later uncovered made the whole affair even more eerie. Shia had just one Twitter follower at the time. Carrey Jane. He quietly unfollowed her as if nothing had happened after posting the attack. This was a combination of bitterness and obsession, and it put Shia on Carrey's blacklist for good. Jenny McCarthy is number 3. The partnership that became a battleground. Jim Carrey is most affected by a name that is neither a rival nor a co-star. Jenny McCarthy is here. In interviews, he steers clear of this particular chapter. Like any Hollywood romance storyline, their relationship started off that way. Cameras adore it when a funny guy meets a funny girl and sparks fly. However, insiders claim that the pivotal moment occurred startlingly early, long before the general public realized there was a problem. In 2006 and 2007, those in their immediate vicinity sensed something odd. Every date night was discreetly used as a gathering to discuss vaccines, autism, or Jenny's activism's media strategy. At first, Carrey was unaware of it. He believed he was only helping the woman he cared about. He was unaware that Jenny was gradually dragging him into a political quagmire that he had no intention of getting into. Carrey became the unanticipated spokesperson for the anti-vaccine movement by 2008. He did it because Jenny needed his notoriety to support her message, not because he wanted to. He supported projects, attended protests, gave speeches, and provided emotional support for her son, Evan. Before his parts began to disappear, he had no idea how much these appearances were costing him professionally. As Jenny encouraged him to make more outrageous claims, things became worse. Carrey paused. She didn't. She reportedly reminded him that many families needed his voice and chastised him in private for being too gentle. The pressure remained steady. At last, Carrey recognized that his public persona had been altered without his consent. On the surface, the April 2010 split appeared amicable, but Hollywood knew otherwise. She closed her autistic school the same week they broke up, suggesting that my partner and I had different visions. After her co-founder left her, Carrey abandoned all plans to buy him out. Jenny McCarthy remains on Carrey's blacklist with little possibility of re-entry because of her betrayal encased in activism. Mark Wahlberg, the Hollywood veteran who openly disparaged Jim Carrey, comes in at number 4. Jim Carrey and Mark Wahlberg didn't need to fight. With just one sentence, he made one himself. The incident occurred in 2009 when a reporter questioned him about celebrities voicing their opinions on contentious issues. Wahlberg acted without hesitation. He took it directly to the core. Actors ought to stop talking and just perform. Everyone was aware that he was targeting Carrey, who had become involved in the vaccine controversy as a result of Jenny McCarthy. The argument wasn't what hurt the moment. It was the haughtiness of it. Wahlberg abruptly established himself as Hollywood's moral compass, despite his well-documented history of violent episodes, arrests, and street fights during his adolescent years. Carrey claims that he didn't openly retaliate because he didn't agree. However, because he found the hypocrisy unbelievable, Wahlberg criticized another actor for deviating from the script after basing his entire early persona on defiance and shock value. Carrey privately viewed the remark as the pinnacle of Hollywood politics. The fact that Wahlberg reiterated the opinion in private was unknown to the general audience. A few months later, Wahlberg expressed his displeasure that Carrey was harming the business and portraying performers as careless. That remark quickly went viral. Carrey quickly saw a slowdown in offers, but Wahlberg's career continued to grow unabated. Carrey knew what was going on. Wahlberg wasn't merely scolding him. By making fun of someone else, he was defending his own reputation. And Carrey has never forgotten it for precisely that reason. The Kardashians, the famous empire, come in at number 5. Jim Carrey was never one to cheer. The Kardashians managed to go on Jim Carrey's blacklist even though they never had a physical altercation with him. The ironic part is that Carrey was asked a question on the red carpet at the incorrect time, which caused the feud to start. It took place during a Harper's Bazaar event honoring so-called icons in 2017. Excited to interview him, a reporter hurried up and offered a straightforward question. "Why have you come here tonight?" The interviewer froze as Carrey gave her remark. "Icons, in my opinion, are the lowest aiming potential we could think of." Those who watched the video assumed he was kidding. He wasn't. The Kardashians, the evening's main attraction, were caught standing a few feet away. He hated celebrity culture, and this was just it. Fame that resulted from branding rather than skill. Influence and a fabricated persona. The tipping point came when the Kardashians were hailed as icons. Carrey's annoyance during the occasion appeared to be genuine as she watched visitors surround the Kardashians while disregarding artists with real careers. Before the cameras had completed, he walked away after muttering something about actually living in the Truman Show. It didn't stop there. A year later, in an interview with Vanity Fair, she said, "I don't think the Kardashian phenomenon is healthy." He was able to permanently close the door because, to him, the Kardashian represented a Hollywood that had lost its essence. Will Smith is number 6. When Jim Carrey's faith in Hollywood was shaken. For many years, Will Smith was not on Jim Carrey's blacklist. In one night, he earned his spot. One that was broadcast live to millions of viewers. Carrey was surprised not only by Will's actions but also by what Hollywood did next. The Oscars are meant to be the most proud event in the industry. Rather, they provided Carrey with all the evidence he required to conclude that the system he had spent 40 years working in had lost all of its integrity. Carrey wasn't shocked when Will Smith entered the stage and gave Chris Rock a slap. It occurs. He was taken aback by the standing ovation that followed. Later, Carrey added, "I was sickened," with a disappointed tone. It was the most obvious sign that we are no longer the hip group. Carrey was repulsed by the performative morality, the false unity, and the focus on appearance rather than responsibility. Hearing folks defend Will's behavior backstage was what finally set Carrey off. As if it were some sort of heroic moment, a crew member told reporters that he heard an actress say that he was defending his wife. Carrey made the announcement that rocked the industry the following morning. "I would have filed a $200 million lawsuit against him if I had been him. That footage will remain online indefinitely." He was drawing attention to the hypocrisy. Ordinary people would have been hauled out right away. What about a powerful celebrity? They receive cheers and an award. Carrey hasn't been interested since that evening. In his opinion, Will Smith did more than just make a fool of himself, he revealed the true nature of Hollywood's decay. Which of Jim Carrey's revelations about the 6 performers he will never forgive surprised you the most? Do you believe that any of them should be given another chance? Tell us in the space provided below. Remember to press the bell, like, and subscribe so you don't miss another in-depth exploration of Hollywood's hidden realities.